Alright, we're going to look at how to make a scatter plot based off the information given to you in your book on page 115. And it talks about the number Y in thousands of alternative fueled vehicles in the U.S. In the United States, X years after 1997, approximate the best fitting line for the data. So here's your data right here. We're going to use the Nspires to do this, and it's really pretty neat the way all this works. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose a new document, and if you've got an old document in there, you would choose, do you want to save your unsaved document? We'll just say no. And then we're going to add lists and spreadsheets. So that's going to be choice 4. And we're going to name this first list the X list. We'll name the second list here in column B the Y list. And then what we'll do is we'll just put all of the numbers for X into this X list. So 0 through 7. And hit enter every time. So there you go, there's those guys. And then we're going to do the same thing in the Y's. So 280 is the first one, and remember those are in thousands. And when you get done with this list, you want to double check and make sure that both lists are the same length. If they're the same length, life is nice. You shouldn't get any error messages and everything is good to go. And so what we want to do is we want to look at how this might appear as a scatter plot. So what we're going to do is add a page, hit the control key in the document button, which is plus page. And now we're going to go for data and statistics. That's what we're interested in. We're going to take this list and make it data. And so choice 5 is what we want. And here it is right here. It's all just a hodgepodge of stuff. Well, move your cursor until you get down into this bottom area, and it'll ask you to click for a variable. We want variable X. So make sure that X is highlighted and hit enter. And there all the dots move. And then do the same thing over here on the Y-axis now. Click into this area. And remember, we want Y this time. So arrow key down and choose Y. And then bang. There's our scatter plot. And it looks really nice. It gives us a perfect window. There's no zooming to fit or anything like this. Here's our X coordinates that we chose. Here's our Y coordinates that it chose. It's excellent. And then to get a line of fit, hit the menu key. And we want to analyze the line. And we're going to do what's called a regression. So that's going to be choice 6. And what kind of regression are we looking at? Well, they told us that the line of regression that we are interested in is linear. And that would be this very first guy right here, mx plus b. That's points. That's a slope-intercept form of a line. This is what we want. So choose 1, and there it is. And here's our equation of our line. Y equals 40.869x plus 262.833. That's the equation of the line of best fit. Now, something else that you just need to be aware of when you're working with a scatter plot is what's called the correlation coefficient. We've talked about this. It's in your notes. And so to see that, we're going to go back to our previous page. And we're going to run the regression off of this data as well. And then we can get both pieces of information, the correlation coefficient, and we've got the graph already that we just saw. So to run the regression here, choose menu and choose statistics and stat calculations, and we want the mx plus b linear regression. Here it is right here. So this is going to be choice 3. And then just tell your list what list it's, tell X what list it needs to use. We already called it. We called it the X list. And then tab down and tell the Y list to be Y. And then they're going to save a regression equation for us, no problem. F1 is usually where you want it. And then the results column, we're going to put the results next to our other items, so that would be column C. And when you get all that done, hit enter. And here it is right here for you. So here's our regression equation that we used. Here's the slope. Here's the y-intercept, and then here's your correlation coefficient. Remember, r is what we're looking for, and the closer that r is to 1, the more perfect the fit. So we can see from this information, 0.992968, that's a pretty strong positive correlation. And that is how you use your calculator to find an equation for line of best fit and the correlation coefficient, and graph them both at the same time so that you can see them.